Bro, imagine waking up, checking your phone, and watching 130,000 people unfollow you in real time. Not over a scandal that took months to unfold. Not over some decade-old tweet resurfacing. Over one video. One 2.5-minute video that he posted himself, voluntarily, thinking he was in the right. That is exactly what happened to James Charles this weekend. And trust me when I say, the details of this story get so much worse before they get better. Stay with me, because the moment this thing hit the internet, it was already too late to take back. And the person at the center of all this, the person James decided to go after, was not another influencer, was not a celebrity, was not someone who could fight back with a platform of their own. It was a woman who had just lost everything. We are getting into all of it right now. Okay, so before we get into James Charles specifically, you need to understand what was happening in the world when this all kicked off, because context is everything here. Spirit Airlines, the budget American carrier that pretty much everyone has a horror story about, filed for bankruptcy and shut down operations completely. No warning, no phase closure, just gone. And when Spirit went under, 17,000 employees lost their jobs overnight. Flight attendants, ground crew, customer service staff, people who had built careers at this airline, suddenly had nothing. No income, no benefits, no flight privileges, nothing. Now put yourself in that position for a second. You have just lost your job through absolutely no fault of your own. Your employer collapsed. You were sitting there wondering how you were going to pay rent, how you were going to feed yourself, how you were going to explain this to your family. What do? You do whatever you can. You reach out. You ask for help. That is not entitlement. That is survival. So one of those 17,000 people, a former Spirit Airlines flight attendant, decided to set up a GoFundMe and reach out to some influencers and celebrities asking if they could share it or donate. She sent a DM to James Charles, a polite one. She said good morning, said she knew he would probably never see it, asked him to take a minute to read it, explained she had just lost her job and that any donations would help. That is it. That is the whole message. Polite, humble, low expectation. She even acknowledged she probably would not see it. Here is where it gets crazy. James saw it, and not only did he see it, he decided to make a whole video about it. Now at this point, you were probably thinking, okay, maybe he is going to address why he cannot donate to every GoFundMe he receives. Maybe he is going to explain that he gets hundreds of messages like this. Maybe he is just going to talk about the situation with some level of compassion. Bro, no, not even close. He got on camera, read out her message in a mocking tone, and laughed. Actually laughed. Then he said, and this is a direct quote, "I'm sure they do, sweetheart. I'm sure they do. You know what else would help you? Getting another job. Yeah, try that." It does not stop there. He then went on a full 2.5-minute tirade where he told her that in the time it took her to copy and paste that message to him and probably 100 other influencers, she could have applied for 100 other jobs instead. He called her a lazy piece of something I cannot say on this channel. He called her entitled. He said she thinks celebrities should fund her life for her. He ended with, "Why would I ever help you?" The woman had just lost her job when her employer went bankrupt. She sent a polite DM asking for help, and a 26-year-old with 83 million followers and a millionaire's salary decided to put her on blast in front of his entire audience. Wait for it. He posted this publicly, on purpose, thinking he was making a valid point. The internet got hold of this video and it detonated. Within hours, it was everywhere. Drama channels reposted it before James could do anything about it, and one repost alone hit 9.4 million views. People were furious. Not the performative Twitter outrage kind of furious. The quiet, "this actually made me feel sick" kind of furious. One comment on X that pretty much summarized the whole thing read, "Welcome to the real world, yet he does not even exist in that world as an influencer. He is so beyond out of touch." And honestly, no cap, that is it. That is the whole review. But then the response that really poured fuel on this whole fire came from Jackie Aina. If you do not know Jackie, she is a fellow beauty creator, brand founder, and someone who has been in this industry long enough to know exactly what she is looking at when she sees it. She posted a video responding to James and it hit 12 million views. 12 million, more than the original rant. She said, and I am paraphrasing here, that she does not think James has ever had a real job in his life, and that the way he spoke to that woman showed it completely. She called it disgusting and inappropriate, and the comments on her video were overwhelmingly in agreement. Here is the thing that makes Jackie's response land so hard. She did not shout. She did not go over the top. She was just calm and precise and exactly right. And sometimes that is more devastating than any amount of anger. Now here is where the story takes a turn that, depending on how charitable you are feeling, either makes this better or somehow makes it worse. James deleted the original video. Fine. Then word got out that before his actual apology, there was an alleged first attempt at addressing the situation, where he apparently doubled down, leaning into the idea that nobody owes anybody anything. That version got deleted too. So by the time his real apology landed, People were already watching with one eyebrow raised.
James Charles is currently going viral because he is now the most unfollowed TikTok account in TikTok history. So if you haven't heard the drama surrounding James Charles's name, I'll get to it in a second, but last night he had 45 million followers here in TikTok, and right now he's at 40.7 mil, and by the time you see my video, he's most likely at like 30 million. And this is honestly crazy how this is happening so fast over one simple incident, and it's because James Charles made fun of a Spirit employee that recently just got fired asking for money, and he went online and publicly bashed her name, and he literally made a video on it just bashing her name and just calling her lazy, that she was begging him for money. And obviously it did not turn out any well for James Charles. He received a ton of backlash that he later had to delete the video, but obviously things catch up to him that everybody's literally unfollowing him. And like I said, by the time you see my video, he's most likely less than 40 million followers by now. So yeah, this is not going good at all for James Charles. He's literally the most unfollowed TikTok account in TikTok history. And like I said, by the time you see my video, he's probably lost millions of more.
The apology itself went up on his spam page on TikTok, and it currently has over 5.3 million views. In it, he called the original video rude, obnoxious, privileged, and completely unnecessary. He said he had no idea what was going on in her life and should never have assumed she was just looking for an easy handout. He said it was the biggest mistake he could have made and that he felt awful. He also said he tried to find her message before filming the apology so he could reach out directly and help her, but could not locate it. He told her publicly that if she sees the video and wants to get in touch, he would love to apologize and help her out personally. And look, stay with me here, because this is the bit that actually matters. In the apology, he explained that his frustration came from constantly receiving messages from people who have never followed him, never supported his content, and still treat him like a personal ATM. And look, that is a real thing that happens to creators. That frustration is legitimate, but here is where he lost the room entirely. There is a massive difference between receiving a begging DM from someone who simply wants clout money and receiving one from a woman who just lost her job in an airline collapse that put 17,000 people out of work overnight. James did not stop to consider which one this was. He just fired. And that split-second decision, that choice to perform his frustration publicly rather than just close the app, is what cost him 130,000 followers and counting.
James Charles is now officially the most unfollowed person all across social media. Yeah, I am not kidding, so I'm sure all of you by now have recently seen the viral controversy involving James Charles, where he made a video saying some really messed up things about a Spirit Airline employee that messaged him trying to receive some money from him after they lost their job because Spirit Airlines shut down. So because of the messed up things he said towards the Spirit Airline employee in his video, James Charles has lost an unbelievable amount of followers all across social media, and according to my calculations, it is well over 350,000 followers that he has lost in just one day. So like I said at the beginning of this video, that means that James Charles is now currently the most unfollowed person all across social media, and it really seems like it is not slowing down, not one bit. People are just extremely upset with James Charles, and he's really getting canceled right now, and he's losing followers truly at a rapid pace. Definitely a very interesting situation, that is for sure, and I'm just really curious to know your thoughts about all of this.
This is not the first time James Charles has been here. In 2019, after Tati Westbrook's Bye Sister video, he broke the record for most followers lost in a single day, shedding over 1 million in the space of 24 hours. He has survived cancellations that would have ended most careers, and he will probably survive this one too. But here's what this story is actually about. Underneath all the drama and the numbers and the viral videos, it is about what your first instinct reveals about you. James Charles had 3 options when he saw that DM. He could have donated quietly. He could have ignored it and moved on with his day, which he even admitted in the apology was an option he had. Or he could have done what he did, which was turn a struggling woman's worst week into content. He chose the third option. And no cap, that choice, that instinct, that reflex tells you more about a person than any apology video ever could. The internet has a long memory, and James Charles, with all his experience of going viral for the wrong reasons, somehow still forgot that. Anyway, this concludes today's video. Be sure to subscribe to LoafTube for future celebrity videos, and turn on that post notification bell so you don't miss out on any future uploads. Until then, see you in the next one.